Hi there, Virgo. So at the bottom of the deck this week, we have the Knight of Swords. So knights have a lot of, they're just a very concentrated amount of energy in whatever suit they're in. So this is the suit of swords. So this is mental thought. And so when it's the knight, it means there's probably going to be a shift in how we think about things, our perspective, the way we're approaching a situation, like mentally shifting, considering other points of view this week that we may not have been considering up till now. Actually, I'm going to look at this card. This would be what was in focus recently in the past. So the Hermit. So this makes a lot of sense. The Hermit is the card, the main spiritual card, where we really go within and figure out what our inner light is, what makes sense to us, what's our guidance, what propels us through life, what ethical and moral standards we are going to use as a barometer as we navigate our way through life. So it makes a lot of sense that the Hermit card would have been in focus, and we have this Knight of Swords. So we've really been thinking about something and shifted our thinking a little bit. And it doesn't mean we've completely changed our beliefs or anything, but we've gained some wisdom, some insights. That's the Hierophant card that I saw. And it's because we've done the inner work. We've really gone within and taken the time to do the work. So let's look at the focus card here. Oh, the Empress. Wow, the Empress and the Moon. Yeah, there's something powerful about this week, because the three cards that I sort of saw when I was shuffling were all major cards as well. The Empress. The Empress is telling you to follow your intuition, follow your creative desires, and nurture that within you. Don't force it, but nurture it and honor it, and recognize that it's okay for that. That's a valid, how do I want to say it? Your creativity is a valid part of your life. I think sometimes creativity is a luxury or an alternative way of life. Like, oh, they're a musician, they're living in an alternative lifestyle. But I really am beginning to realize that creativity is what gives us life. It's our life force, and we suppress it because, oh, well, we have to make money and we have to find a job that pays well and has benefits, and at least in the United States, and all that stuff. But I really think it's more of a vital part of us that we need to really honor more and nurture and expend energy on. And with the Moon crossing it, that just tells me that maybe things have been emotionally murky or confusing because you had to come to that realization. Here's the shift in your thought pattern that your art, whatever your creative outlet is, I mean, it could really be anything. Don't get tied down to the arts as only being painting, drawing, performance arts, singing, things like that. It can be anything where you're expressing your creative, whatever that is inside of you. I mean, it could be mathematics to some people. It could be sports. And then, of course, it could be writing, anything sort of traditional. I feel like my tarot reading is my creative outlet because I can't draw or sing at all. So just because it may not fit into a neat little package, don't let that make you confused. That doesn't mean it's not true and valid. So crowning us, oh wow, the Tower, big week. This is breaking down all those stereotypes and those rules and outdated value systems that we've been living under, and saying, to hell with that. My creativity and my passion is what's true, and everything else I've been living, if I haven't been following that and nurturing it, is false. And that's what needs to crumble. It's almost like you want the stuff to tear down. Sometimes this card can come up when we don't feel like we have the strength or the gumption to make the changes that we know need to happen. And this card can kind of come along and bring everything crashing down. So only what is truly built on a strong foundation I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my words. Is sustainable, will last through this event. And what I've learned about the Tower card is that what remains is what's our authenticity, our authentic self. Like if you love to read, if you go through a Tower situation, you will still love to read because it's part of you. If you go through the Tower situation and you lose your job, and even though you're worried about not having a source of income, if you really could give a shit about that job, it wasn't part of you. It wasn't it wasn't an authentic place for you to be working. And I know that can be very idealistic, and we need to make money, but it's like we want some event to happen to allow us to sort of follow what really feeds our soul, which is a theme in a lot of my tarot readings. So coming up into focus, is a Page of Wands. What are you passionate about? What new beginning is going to come out of the Tower? What are you nurturing with the Empress? What are you getting clear in your head? And then once all those things have aligned, here's your passion to make it happen, to move forward. This is you're getting your mojo back. You're passionate and enthusiastic and moving forward at something that you really want to do. It's really exciting. Beautiful card. Also, messages. I mean, some of you may get a dream job, or a dream situation may land on your lap where you really get to express your creativity. We had 3 overall, or sort of outcome cards or overall cards. I usually only do 2, but 3 came out. So let's take a look. So the 5 of Swords. This may be creating some conflict in your head. We already talked about that, and how can I make what I love to do, how can I resolve that internal conflict with what I've been told is an appropriate career, an appropriate relationship, an appropriate way to live my life. Like, I'm supposed to settle down and have kids and live in a neighborhood with a cul-de-sac, but I want to travel. I want a tiny home. I want to walk the Appalachian Trail. I want, you know what I mean? Like, how do I reconcile that within myself? So it can bring up some some conflict. But the fives, again, like the Tower, the fives, it's sort of that when things aren't comfortable, that it prompts us to change. If everything was just fine, sometimes we wouldn't really have any motivation to really go after what we truly want. Wow, and the Ten of Swords. And these actually were both in reverse. This is it. You're done. You're not living that way anymore. And it's interesting, you've actually put that conflict I was talking about to rest. You're like, I'm not thinking about it anymore. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. And, this could be something major like your job or a relationship, but it could be something more internal, especially with the Hermit, something seemingly more minor. But once you sort of flick that switch in your brain, you'll never quite live the same again, because you can never go backwards from this card. It's just not possible. Something has clicked, it's hit rock bottom, and you're done. Not happening again. And there's just no changing that. You're living in a new way. So it's a welcome card. Just like the Tower, it can be a little painful to go through, but if you can see the opportunity and the what's left, if you look at my Facebook page, I have a Facebook page. I don't post a whole lot, but I posted a video from J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, obviously, about where she was in her life in her 20s before she started writing the books. And I said, this is the lesson of the Tower. So go check that out. And the final one, the Five of Cups. Wow. So for some of you, this is a relationship. I feel like for some of you, this card is about grieving, and there are the stages of grief, right? And I think for some of you have been stuck in a stage for way too long, and that's going to stop. Something's going to click, and you're going to be ready to move on. I know when I was younger, it's a whole long story, but I had a boyfriend that broke up with me, and I just couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go for like a whole year. And then I think he started seeing someone else. Yeah, he started seeing someone else. And it was like, it was like the proverbial, like what do I want to say? Metaphorical slap in the face that I was done. I was like, oh. Like, I think I cried for like a week, and then all of a sudden something clicked, and I was like, what are you doing? You just wasted a year of your life like pining over this guy that doesn't want you. He didn't treat you well. What are you doing? And it was just done. I was just done, and I never wanted him again. And it was that clear, that fast, that over, and I just never looked back.